In a time of upheaval and enlightenment, the 18th century was marked by extraordinary thinkers who shaped the course of history. From philosophies that ignited revolutions to innovations that transformed societies, these individuals left an indelible mark. Who were these great minds, and how did they change the world? At the forefront of the 18th century's intellectual movement was Voltaire, a fierce advocate for civil liberties and freedom of expression. His writings challenged the status quo, promoting ideas that would later inspire the French Revolution. Voltaire's wit and wisdom ignited discussions that reverberate today. Simultaneously, Jean-Jacques Rousseau introduced concepts of democracy and social contract theory. His belief that government should be based on the will of the people revolutionized political thought. Rousseau's ideas laid the groundwork for modern democratic principles that govern many nations today. Across the Atlantic, Benjamin Franklin emerged as a polymath whose contributions spanned science, politics, and diplomacy. His experiments with electricity and advocacy for colonial unity shaped both American identity and innovation. Franklin's legacy endures in countless facets of modern life. Meanwhile, Mary Wollstonecraft was pioneering the fight for women's rights through her groundbreaking work, A Vindication of the Rights of Woman. Her advocacy for equality challenged societal norms, paving the way for future generations to pursue gender equality and educational opportunities. In the realm of science, Isaac Newton's principles still guided thinkers during the 18th century, influencing fields from physics to philosophy. His laws of motion and universal gravitation provided a framework that not only explained the natural world but also inspired future scientific inquiry. Further, the Enlightenment gave rise to Adam Smith, whose economic theories revolutionized commerce. In his seminal work, The Wealth of Nations, he introduced concepts of free markets and capitalism, influencing economic policies that fuel global trade today. The impact of the 18th century thinkers extended into the realm of literature as well. Figures like Jonathan Swift and his satirical works revealed societal flaws and inspired change. His writing became a catalyst for social reform and continues to be studied for its relevance. Furthermore, the ideas of these figures fueled the American Revolution, where principles of liberty, equality, and justice were demanded. Their writings inspired colonists to challenge British rule, leading to the creation of a new nation built on Enlightenment ideals. Beyond politics, the 18th century also witnessed innovations in art and culture. Artists like Francisco Goya challenged traditional artistic norms, expressing deep emotional and political themes through their work. Goya's legacy serves as a reminder of art's power to provoke thought and inspire change. As the century progressed, the Age of Enlightenment fostered a spirit of inquiry and skepticism. Thinkers began to question religious dogmas and sought knowledge through reason and observation. This shift laid the groundwork for the modern scientific method and critical thought. The 18th century also saw the emergence of new political ideologies, such as liberalism and republicanism. These ideas championed individual rights and government accountability, influencing political movements across the globe and resonating through centuries of governance. As revolutions unfolded, the writings of Thomas Paine inspired a call to arms in America and beyond. In Common Sense, he argued for independence, rallying support for the revolutionary cause and igniting flames of liberty across nations. In France, the ideals of the Enlightenment culminated in the French Revolution, where the voices of the people demanded equality and justice. This tumultuous period not only reshaped France but also inspired revolutions worldwide, proving the power of collective action. The Enlightenment's legacy continued into the 19th century and beyond, as its principles inspired movements for human rights and social justice. The ideas of these 18th century thinkers remain relevant, challenging us to question and improve our world. The minds of the 18th century shaped a world in turmoil and transformation. Their ideas continue to resonate, reminding us of the power of thought to inspire change. As we reflect on their impact, we are called to carry their legacy forward. At the forefront of the Enlightenment was Voltaire, a champion of civil liberties and free speech. His wit and criticism of the established church challenged the status quo, advocating for reason over dogma. Voltaire's writings ignited debates that questioned authority, influencing revolutionary thoughts across Europe. Another pivotal figure was Jean-Jacques Rousseau, whose work laid the foundation for modern political thought. His concept of the social contract influenced democratic ideologies, emphasizing the importance of individual freedom and collective responsibility. Rousseau's vision inspired revolutions worldwide. Mary Wollstonecraft, an early advocate for women's rights, challenged the limitations placed on women's education and roles. Her seminal work, A Vindication of the Rights of Woman, argued for equality and empowerment, setting the stage for future feminist movements. Wollstonecraft's courage changed perceptions of gender roles. The impact of these thinkers reached beyond philosophy, stirring political revolutions. The American Revolution, inspired by Enlightenment ideals, sought independence from British rule. The assertion of rights and self-governance echoed the philosophies of Voltaire and Rousseau, fostering a new era of liberty. Across the Atlantic, the French Revolution erupted, fueled by revolutionary ideas that demanded change. The writings of Rousseau and Voltaire inspired the masses to challenge the monarchy, igniting a quest for equality, fraternity, and liberty that would forever alter the landscape of France and beyond. The contributions of Benjamin Franklin also stand out during this transformative period. As a diplomat, inventor, and philosopher, Franklin's ideas on civic responsibility and public good were pivotal in shaping American society. His emphasis on education and scientific inquiry fostered innovation and enlightenment. Thomas Jefferson, a key architect of the American Constitution, embodied Enlightenment principles in his pursuit of liberty and equality. His authorship of the Declaration of Independence emphasized the inherent rights of individuals, echoing the revolutionary thoughts of his time and inspiring future generations. Across the ocean, the writings of Mary Shelley stirred intellectual debates on individualism and the human condition. Her novel, Frankenstein, questioned the moral implications of scientific advancement, reflecting the anxieties of a society grappling with rapid change and the consequences of Enlightenment thought. Simón Bolívar, inspired by Enlightenment ideals, sought to liberate South America from colonial powers. His vision for a united Latin America was rooted in principles of freedom and self-determination, driving revolutionary movements that reshaped the continent's future. The Enlightenment also sparked critical discussions on economics, with Adam Smith introducing the concept of capitalism. His seminal work, The Wealth of Nations, laid the groundwork for modern economic theory, advocating for free markets and competition as paths to prosperity. In the realm of science, figures like Isaac Newton continued to influence the 18th century with their groundbreaking discoveries. Newton's laws of motion and universal gravitation reshaped humanity's understanding of the natural world and laid the foundation for future scientific exploration. The contributions of these individuals sparked a wave of enlightenment that transcended borders and cultures, creating a tapestry of ideas that would fuel revolutions worldwide. The collective efforts of these thinkers ignited a fervor for change that would shape modern civilization. As these revolutionary ideas spread, they also faced opposition. Traditional powers resisted change, fearing the societal upheaval that Enlightenment principles brought. Yet the call for reason and justice could not be silenced, highlighting the tension between progress and tradition. The backlash against Enlightenment ideas led to a variety of responses. Some thinkers, like Edmund Burke, criticized the excesses of the French Revolution, advocating for gradual change instead of violent upheaval. This debate highlighted the complexities of reform and the balance between liberty and order. In the realm of literature, the novels of the 18th century mirrored the era's conflicts and ideals. Authors like Jane Austen and Charles Dickens brought social issues to light, weaving tales that critique societal norms and explored the intricacies of human relationships and moral dilemmas. The scientific revolution continued to thrive, with figures like Antoine Lavoisier revolutionizing chemistry. His emphasis on experimentation and the scientific method paved the way for modern science, emphasizing the importance of observation and data in understanding the natural world. The 18th century also witnessed the rise of the arts, with composers like Mozart and Beethoven pushing the boundaries of music. Their compositions expressed the emotions of the human experience, resonating with the revolutionary spirit and reflecting the complexities of society during this transformative time. Similarly, the visual arts flourished, with painters like Jacques-Louis David capturing the essence of the revolutionary spirit. His works depicted the struggle for freedom and the ideals of democracy, forever embedding the spirit of the 18th century into the fabric of art history. As these transformative ideas permeated society, education became a focal point. Scholars emphasized the importance of knowledge and critical thought, advocating for universal education as a means to empower individuals and cultivate informed citizens, vital for a thriving democracy. Philosophers of the time also explored the role of government in ensuring the welfare of its citizens. Thinkers like Thomas Hobbes and John Locke debated the nature of power, with Locke's theories on government by consent shaping democratic ideals that still resonate in political discourse today. This period also witnessed the emergence of social movements advocating for the rights of the marginalized. The ideas cultivated during the Enlightenment spurred movements for the abolition of slavery, women's suffrage, and workers' rights, planting the seeds for future social justice efforts. The clash of revolutionary ideals and traditional values often led to unforeseen consequences. The rise of nationalism, fueled by Enlightenment thought, sometimes resulted in conflicts and wars as nations sought identity and autonomy in a rapidly changing world. As the century progressed, the consequences of these revolutionary ideas began to reshape global dynamics. The interconnectedness of nations became evident as ideas and philosophies traversed borders, uniting diverse cultures under a common pursuit for progress and understanding. Despite the strife, the 18th century set the stage for an unprecedented era of intellectual exploration. The courage of thinkers who dared to challenge norms inspired countless movements that would echo through history, paving the way for future generations to continue the work of enlightenment. The legacy of the 18th century thinkers is a tapestry woven from their diverse contributions, each thread representing a facet of the human experience. Their thoughts on freedom, equality, and justice fostered a collective consciousness that continues to influence the world today. As we delve deeper into the impact of these figures, it becomes clear that their ideas were not only revolutionary, but also deeply personal for many. The stories of individuals who fought for their beliefs remind us of the enduring struggle for justice and the human spirit's resilience. The intertwining of personal narratives and grand ideas illustrates the complexity of human history. Each thinker, each revolution served as a catalyst for change, reminding us that the pursuit of enlightenment is as much about the individual as it is about society as a whole. As we reflect on the achievements and challenges of the 18th century, we recognize that the minds that changed the world did so not in isolation, but through a shared commitment to progress. Their legacies continue to inspire new generations to strive for a better future. In conclusion, the 18th century was an era of immense transformation, marked by the ideas of courageous thinkers. Their influence transcended time and geography, urging us to question, to learn, and to continue the legacy of enlightenment as we navigate our own contemporary challenges. As the Enlightenment continued to flourish, the works of Jean-Jacques Rousseau ignited a revolution in political thought. His social contract theory challenged traditional power structures, advocating for the rights of the individual. Rousseau's ideas on education and governance influenced future leaders and sparked discussions on democracy. Simultaneously, the scientific community thrived under the auspices of figures like Benjamin Franklin, His experiments with electricity and inventions like the lightning rod epitomized the spirit of innovation. Franklin's advocacy for scientific inquiry laid the groundwork for future technological advancements. On the other side of the Atlantic, the American colonies were stirring to revolutionary action, inspired by Enlightenment principles. Thomas Jefferson, a staunch advocate of liberty, penned the Declaration of Independence in 1776. His words resonated across continents, igniting aspirations for freedom in oppressed societies. In France, the momentum for change grew with the writings of Voltaire, who championed civil liberties and criticized the status quo. His wit and candor challenged religious and governmental institutions, promoting reason over tradition. Voltaire's impact was felt not just in France, but throughout Europe. Meanwhile, the Industrial Revolution began to reshape societies, driven by innovations in manufacturing and transportation. Figures like James Watt revolutionized steam power, paving the way for mechanization. This era marked a shift from agrarian economies to industrialized nations, altering social dynamics. The impact of these thinkers extended to the spheres of literature and culture, with writers like Mary Wollstonecraft advocating for women's education and rights. Her seminal work, A Vindication of the Rights of Woman, challenged societal norms and laid the foundation for future feminist movements. This ongoing cultural transformation also included the realm of art, where the Rococo style flourished. Artists like Francois Boucher infused their works with themes of love and nature, reflecting the era's values. Their art captured the essence of a society in transition, balancing tradition with new ideas. As the 18th century unfolded, the rise of coffee houses became pivotal in fostering discourse. These establishments served as venues for intellectual exchange, where ideas were debated and new philosophies emerged. They played a crucial role in uniting thinkers and fueling revolutionary fervor. The culmination of these Enlightenment ideas found expression in the arts, culminating in the works of composers like Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. His music embodied the ideals of harmony and balance, resonating deeply with the cultural movements of the time. Across the ocean, the struggle for independence was met with fierce opposition, leading to pivotal battles. The Siege of Yorktown in 1781 marked a decisive victory for the American colonies, symbolizing the triumph of Enlightenment ideals in action. This battle reshaped the future of a nation. In the wake of these conflicts, the ideas of freedom and equality began to resonate globally, inspiring revolutions in places like Haiti. The Haitian Revolution, led by Toussaint Louverture, showcased the fight against colonial oppression. It became a beacon of hope for enslaved peoples everywhere. As revolutions unfolded, the concept of nationalism took root. Figures like Giuseppe Mazzini advocated for a united Italy, envisioning a nation built on shared culture and values. His passion and vision spurred the movement for Italian unification, reflecting the growing importance of national identity. Back in Europe, the French Revolution erupted, profoundly altering the course of history. Revolutionary leaders like Maximilien Robespierre led the charge, advocating for equality and liberty. However, the movement also spiraled into chaos, revealing the complexities of radical change. In the realm of philosophy, Immanuel Kant emerged as a pivotal figure. His ideas on enlightenment and moral philosophy challenged individuals to think autonomously. Kant's call for intellectual independence resonated deeply, influencing generations of thinkers and leaders. The tensions of the era also inspired breakthroughs in social theory, with thinkers like Adam Smith advocating for economic freedom. His work, The Wealth of Nations, laid the foundations for modern capitalism, highlighting the relationship between economics and personal liberty. As science continued to advance, the works of scientists like Antoine Lavoisier transformed the field of chemistry. His identification of oxygen and groundbreaking research established the principles that would underpin modern chemistry. Lavoisier's meticulous approach set a new standard for scientific inquiry. In literature, the rise of the novel reflected the changing social landscape. Authors like Jane Austen explored themes of class and gender, weaving complex narratives that challenged societal expectations. Austen's works continue to resonate, revealing truths about human behavior and society. Amidst these intellectual currents, the abolitionist movement gained momentum, with activists like Olaudah Equiano sharing firsthand accounts of the horrors of slavery. His autobiography opened eyes to the realities of the slave trade, catalyzing a push for social reform and justice. As Enlightenment ideas permeated society, the concept of human rights began to take shape. Philosophers and activists rallied for the recognition of individual rights, setting the groundwork for future legal frameworks. This shift reflected a growing understanding of the inherent dignity of every person. The growing discourse on rights paved the way for movements that shaped nations. In 1789, the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen was adopted in France, proclaiming universal rights for all citizens. This document became a pivotal reference point for future declarations around the world. As the century progressed, the impact of revolutionary ideas led to the establishment of new governments. The formation of the United States and the principles of republicanism inspired other nations to seek self-governance. This wave of change emphasized the importance of civic participation and accountability. In the scientific realm, the work of Charles Louis de Secondat, Baron de Montesquieu, introduced the concept of separation of powers. His ideas influenced democratic structures, ensuring that no single entity would hold absolute control. Montesquieu's theories became foundational to modern governance. The 18th century was not only a time of political upheaval, but also of cultural enlightenment. The influence of Enlightenment salons became evident, where thinkers and artists gathered to exchange ideas. These gatherings fostered a spirit of collaboration, further igniting the flames of revolution. As this century drew to a close, the impact of Enlightenment thinkers was evident in various fields. Their ideologies were not just theoretical. They had tangible effects on the lives of people in different corners of the globe. The seeds of change planted during this time would grow into movements that continue to shape our reality. The interconnection of ideas during the 18th century laid the groundwork for future transformations. Thinkers and revolutionaries inspired each other across borders, creating a tapestry of thought that transcended geography. This network of intellectual exchange became a hallmark of the period. As revolutions sparked across continents, the role of women began to shift as well. Writers and activists fought for recognition and rights, challenging the patriarchal norms that were deeply ingrained in society. Their contributions set the stage for future feminist movements and social reform. The convergence of these revolutionary ideas fostered a climate ripe for change. Educational reforms began to take shape, advocating for wider access to knowledge. The belief that education was a universal right gained traction, promising a more informed citizenry. Amidst these transformations, the lingering shadows of inequality remained. Despite the progress, many marginalized communities continued to face oppression. The fight for equality and justice remained an ongoing struggle, highlighting the complexities of the revolutionary period. As the 18th century came to a close, the legacies of these historical figures were felt in governance, science, and social movements. Their ideas continued to echo through time, challenging subsequent generations to engage with the world critically. This interplay of thought and action defined an era. The 18th century not only witnessed revolutions and reforms, but also the birth of new ideologies. The rise of socialism began to take root, advocating for collective ownership and a fair distribution of resources. This new wave of thought sought to address the inequities perpetuated by capitalism. As these ideas spread, their ramifications were felt worldwide. Revolutions in Latin America, fueled by Enlightenment principles, echoed the struggles seen in North America and France. Leaders like Simón Bolívar emerged, advocating for independence from colonial powers. In the realm of science, the 18th century saw a burgeoning interest in natural philosophy. Figures like Carl Linnaeus advanced the classification of living organisms, laying the groundwork for modern biology. Linnaeus's systematic approach transformed how people understood the natural world. As political upheavals unfolded, the concept of civil disobedience began to gain traction through the writings of Henry David Thoreau. His advocacy for nonviolent resistance inspired countless movements for justice, emphasizing the power of individual conscience in the face of government authority. The interconnectedness of ideas during this time fostered a greater awareness of global issues. The abolitionist movement gained momentum across continents, with activists uniting against the slave trade and advocating for emancipation. Their voices began to reshape public consciousness regarding human rights. Moreover, the 18th century saw the rise of mass communication, with the proliferation of pamphlets and newspapers. This new medium allowed revolutionary ideas to spread rapidly, enabling ordinary citizens to engage with political discourse and challenge the status quo. The complexity of the era was also mirrored in the arts, where movements like neoclassicism emerged as a response to the chaos of revolution. Artists like Jacques-Louis David sought to capture the ideals of heroism and virtue, reflecting societal aspirations amidst turmoil. The evolving landscape of the 18th century nurtured a spirit of inquiry in literature as well. The Gothic novel emerged as a genre reflecting societal anxieties and exploring the darker aspects of human nature. Authors like Mary Shelley would later draw inspiration from this movement. Scientific advancements also played a crucial role in agriculture during this period. Innovations like crop rotation and selective breeding improved yields and transformed rural life. These changes not only enhanced food production, but also shifted demographics as people migrated to urban areas for work. As the century progressed, the Enlightenment ideals began to affect international relations, promoting diplomacy over conflict. Thinkers like Immanuel Kant argued for a federation of nations, emphasizing peaceful coexistence and cooperation. This vision paved the way for future diplomatic efforts. The ongoing cultural shifts of the 18th century also influenced the world of theater. Playwrights like Molière and later those in the Romantic movement began to explore themes of individual struggle and societal critique. Their works provided a platform for reflection on human experiences. The culmination of these diverse movements and ideas signified an era of unprecedented growth and transformation. The 18th century set the stage for the modern world, where the interplay of thought and action led to revolutionary changes in governance, culture, and society. In retrospect, this era can be viewed as a crucible for ideas that would shape the trajectory of human history. The thinkers, activists, and artists of the 18th century forged paths that future generations would follow, continually inspiring movements for equality and justice. While the 18th century was marked by upheaval, it also laid the groundwork for progressive thought. The ideals of liberty, reason, and human rights became cornerstones for future societies, challenging established norms and advocating for change. As we reflect on the achievements of the 18th century, it is evident that the legacies of these influential figures continue to resonate today. Their contributions remind us of the power of ideas and the potential for transformative change in our own times. The journey through the 18th century reveals not just the past, but also the present's ongoing narrative. As we navigate through contemporary challenges, the lessons learned from these figures stand as a testament to the enduring influence of history on human civilization. In the heart of the 18th century, the Enlightenment flourished, giving rise to thinkers like Voltaire. His writings challenged the status quo and advocated for freedom of speech, setting the stage for modern civil rights movements. Voltaire's courage to speak against injustice inspired countless others to raise their voices against tyranny. Simultaneously, Jean-Jacques Rousseau introduced radical ideas about democracy and the social contract. His belief that government must be based on the will of the people fueled revolutionary sentiments across Europe and the Americas. Rousseau's vision shaped the foundations of modern democratic theory and practice. Another towering figure of the 18th century was Adam Smith, whose seminal work, The Wealth of Nations, laid the groundwork for modern economics. Smith's ideas on free markets and capitalism reshaped economic policies worldwide, emphasizing the importance of individual enterprise in driving progress. Meanwhile, the scientific community was revolutionized by figures like Benjamin Franklin, whose experiments with electricity paved the way for countless technological advancements. Franklin's curiosity and innovative spirit exemplified the era's drive towards understanding the natural world, influencing both science and engineering. The 18th century also witnessed the rise of feminist thought, spearheaded by figures like Mary Wollstonecraft. Her groundbreaking work, A Vindication of the Rights of Woman, challenged traditional gender roles and called for women's education and equality. Wollstonecraft's ideas laid the groundwork for future feminist movements. As these brilliant minds shaped intellectual discourse, the revolutionary fervor reached its peak with events like the American Revolution. Fueled by Enlightenment ideals, the colonies rose against British rule, ultimately declaring independence in 1776. This monumental shift not only altered the course of American history, but also inspired revolutions worldwide. Across the Atlantic, the French Revolution erupted in 1789, igniting a wave of change across Europe. Influenced by the ideas of Rousseau and Voltaire, the revolutionaries sought to dismantle the monarchy and establish a republic founded on liberty, equality, and fraternity. This upheaval forever altered the political landscape of France and beyond. In the realm of arts and culture, figures such as Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart redefined music during this period. His compositions broke boundaries and set new standards for creativity and expression. Mozart's genius resonated well beyond his time, influencing countless musicians and genres in the centuries to come. Simultaneously, the literary world was enriched by the works of poets like Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. His exploration of human emotions and nature in pieces such as The Sorrows of Young Werther resonated deeply with audiences, marking a shift towards romanticism. Goethe's impact on literature inspired future generations of writers. The 18th century also saw advancements in philosophy and political theory, driven by figures like Immanuel Kant. His ideas on ethics and morality, particularly in Critique of Pure Reason, encouraged individuals to think critically about their beliefs and the nature of knowledge, shaping modern philosophical discourse. As revolutions spread, the ideas of liberty and democracy also reached the Caribbean, inspiring figures like Toussaint Louverture. Leading the Haitian Revolution, Louverture fought against colonial oppression, ultimately establishing Haiti as the first independent Black-led republic. His legacy remains a powerful symbol of resistance and freedom. In the world of exploration, Captain James Cook mapped uncharted territories, expanding European knowledge of the Pacific. His voyages opened new pathways for trade, influenced imperial policies, and contributed significantly to the Age of Enlightenment's quest for discovery and understanding of the natural world. The seeds of change were also sown in the realm of science and technology, with innovators like James Watt enhancing steam engine technology. His improvements revolutionized industry and transportation, marking the dawn of the Industrial Revolution. Watt's contributions were pivotal in shaping modern economies and urban landscapes. In the sphere of social reform, figures like Cesare Beccaria emerged, advocating for criminal justice reform. His influential work on crimes and punishments called for humane treatment of prisoners and an end to capital punishment, paving the way for modern legal systems focused on rehabilitation. As these transformative ideas permeated society, the role of women began to evolve as well. The late 18th century saw women participating actively in the salons of Paris, discussing philosophy, literature, and politics. These gatherings became crucial spaces for intellectual exchange, allowing women to shape cultural narratives. As the century drew to a close, the Industrial Revolution gained momentum, leading to significant social changes. Urbanization transformed landscapes and lifestyles, as people flocked to cities in search of work. This migration marked a turning point in human history, altering social structures and economic practices. The 18th century laid the groundwork for the 19th century's turbulence and transformation. The ideas and innovations of this era propelled humanity towards modernity. As people began to imagine a world founded on principles of democracy, equality, and social justice, the minds that changed the world during this time fostered a legacy that still resonates today. As we reflect on the contributions made by these remarkable individuals, we recognize that their impact transcends time and geography. The dialogue initiated by thinkers like Voltaire and Rousseau continues to influence contemporary societal movements, reminding us of the enduring power of ideas in shaping our world. In examining the 18th century, it becomes evident that the interplay between ideas and actions forms the bedrock of progress. The revolutionary spirit ignited during this century not only changed nations but also inspired individuals to challenge injustices in their own lives, fostering a culture of activism that persists today. The 18th century's influence is palpable in our understanding of human rights, shaped by the efforts of philosophers and revolutionaries alike. The concept that all individuals deserve freedom, equality, and justice laid a foundation that continues to guide contemporary human rights discussions, emphasizing the universality of these principles. As we delve deeper into the narratives of these historical figures, we uncover a rich tapestry of struggle, triumph, and resilience. Their stories remind us that change often arises from the courage to challenge the norms and to envision a better future for all. This spirit of resilience continues to inspire generations. Through their intellectual contributions, these historical figures cultivated an environment ripe for debate and reflection. The salons, coffee houses, and universities of the 18th century became hubs of revolutionary thought, where ideas could flourish and evolve, setting the stage for future societal transformations. In conclusion, the 18th century was a crucible of ideas that not only transformed societies, but also redefined what it meant to be human. As thinkers explored the realms of reason, nature, and justice, they laid the groundwork for a global dialogue, a dialogue that persists into our modern era, urging us to continue striving for a better world. As the 18th century progressed, the Enlightenment emerged, fostering groundbreaking ideas about human rights and governance. Thinkers like John Locke championed the concept of natural rights, asserting that life, liberty, and property are inherent to all individuals. His philosophy emboldened citizens to challenge tyrannical rule, setting the stage for revolutions across the globe. Simultaneously, Voltaire's wit and criticism of established religion and authority sparked debates that encouraged secular thought. His advocacy for freedom of expression resonated deeply, inspiring future generations to question dogma and seek personal truth. Voltaire's legacy is a testament to the power of words in the fight for personal freedoms. In America, Thomas Jefferson absorbed Enlightenment ideas and incorporated them into the Declaration of Independence. His eloquent assertion that all men are created equal became a rallying cry for those seeking to break free from colonial oppression. Jefferson's words ignited a revolution that would redefine governance and inspire democratic movements around the world. Across the Atlantic, the French Revolution was brewing, influenced by Enlightenment philosophers. Thinkers like Rousseau argued that the social contract was fundamental to societal structures. His belief that government should be based on the general will energized citizens to challenge oppressive regimes, leading to monumental shifts in power dynamics. Meanwhile, Mary Wollstonecraft emerged as a pioneering figure in advocating for women's rights. Her seminal work, A Vindication of the Rights of Woman, argued fiercely for equality and education for women, challenging societal norms. Wollstonecraft's arguments laid foundational principles for the feminist movements that would follow, echoing through time. Simultaneously, the intellectual climate inspired a surge of scientific advancements. Figures like Benjamin Franklin pushed the boundaries of knowledge through experiments and inventions. His curiosity about electricity and its applications not only changed the scientific landscape, but also highlighted the intersection of science and practical life, inspiring future innovators. The 18th century also witnessed the rise of the Enlightenment's impact on art and literature. Artists like J.M.W. Turner infused their work with ideas of individualism and the sublime, reflecting societal changes. Their art captured the spirit of the era, moving from tradition to a celebration of emotion and human experience. This cultural shift wasn't limited to Europe. In the Americas, figures like Simon Bolivar emerged, inspired by the Enlightenment philosophy. His vision of an independent Latin America led to a series of revolutionary movements, showcasing how the ideas of freedom and democracy traveled across oceans, igniting change worldwide. The culmination of these ideas and movements led to the Age of Revolutions, where the concepts of liberty and equality took center stage. Following the American and French revolutions, countries worldwide began to challenge the status quo, sparking uprisings that reshaped nations. This era marked a significant turning point in how societies viewed authority and governance. Ultimately, the shifts initiated in the 18th century created a domino effect that influenced the 19th and 20th centuries. The principles of democracy, human rights, and social justice became rallying points for activists and leaders throughout history. Each revolutionary figure built upon the foundation laid by their predecessors, creating a narrative of progress and evolution. Reflecting on the 18th century reveals a tapestry of thought and action, woven by extraordinary individuals who dared to dream of a better world. Their struggles and triumphs continue to resonate, reminding us that the pursuit of freedom and equality is an ongoing journey. As we honor their legacies, we are called to reflect on our own roles in shaping the future. As the 18th century progressed, thinkers like Voltaire emerged, advocating for freedom of speech and religion. His critiques of the established church challenged societal norms and inspired many to question authority. Voltaire's writings ignited a flame of enlightenment that transcended borders and ideologies. In tandem with Voltaire, Jean-Jacques Rousseau championed the ideals of democracy and individualism. His seminal work, The Social Contract, laid the groundwork for modern political theory, emphasizing the importance of the collective will. Rousseau's philosophies inspired revolutions across the globe, from America to France. Amidst the intellectual upheaval, the American Revolution began to take shape. Figures like Thomas Jefferson articulated a vision of liberty that resonated deeply with the populace. His drafting of the Declaration of Independence became a symbol of human rights and a testament to the power of revolutionary thought. Simultaneously, the Industrial Revolution began to transform societies. Innovators like James Watt revolutionized steam power, enhancing productivity and ushering in an era of unprecedented economic growth. This shift would change not only how people worked, but also where they lived, fostering urbanization. In the heart of Europe, Enlightenment thinkers like Immanuel Kant urged society to embrace reason and autonomy. His philosophical contributions challenged traditional authority and encouraged individuals to seek enlightenment through knowledge. Kant's ideas continue to shape modern educational philosophies today. Meanwhile, Mary Wollstonecraft emerged as a pioneering advocate for women's rights. Her groundbreaking work, A Vindication of the Rights of Woman, argued against the prevailing norms of gender inequality. Wollstonecraft's bold assertions laid the foundation for the feminist movements that would follow. Across the Atlantic, the French Revolution ignited a fervor for equality and fraternity. Philosophers like Rousseau heavily influenced revolutionaries, providing them with a vision of a society grounded in justice. The storming of the Bastille would mark the beginning of a radical transformation in France. In the aftermath of revolution, figures like Napoleon Bonaparte rose to prominence. His military strategies and reforms transformed France and much of Europe, but his quest for power also raised questions about authoritarianism versus liberty. The legacy of his rule remains a complex chapter in history. In the realm of science, figures like Benjamin Franklin made significant strides in understanding electricity. His experiments and inventions not only advanced scientific knowledge, but also showcased the interconnectedness of science and society. Franklin's legacy endures through his numerous contributions to civic life and governance. In literature, the 18th century saw the rise of powerful voices that questioned societal norms. Writers like Alexander Pope and Jonathan Swift used satire to critique politics and human nature, prompting readers to reflect on their values. Their works remain relevant, shaping literary discourse to this day. As the century drew to a close, the Age of Enlightenment paved the way for modern democracies. The ideas propagated by influential thinkers fostered a spirit of inquiry and reform that would culminate in widespread political changes. These revolutionary ideas sowed the seeds for future generations to build upon. In this transformative era, the interconnectedness of ideas transcended borders. The exchange of philosophies and innovations facilitated a global dialogue, shaping the course of civilizations. As thinkers challenged the status quo, they ignited a passion for progress that continues to resonate today. Reflecting on the contributions of these historical figures reveals a rich tapestry of influence. Their thoughts and actions carved pathways for liberty, equality, and intellectual curiosity. Each individual played a crucial role, reminding us of the power of individual agency in shaping the future. As we honor the legacies of these remarkable individuals, we are called to continue their pursuit of knowledge and justice. The lessons learned from their sacrifices inspire us to challenge contemporary issues of inequality and injustice. Their stories are not merely historical, they are a call to action. The journey through the 18th century illuminates the profound impact of these historical figures on our world today. As we navigate our own challenges, their legacies remind us that change is possible through courage and conviction. Moving forward, may we draw inspiration from their lives and continue to strive for a better future.